Hi everyone, I'm Miss Alyssa, Teen Services Librarian at the Westmont Public Library, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make rock candy at home. Alright, to get started we will need a few simple ingredients and a few supplies. So first off you will need 2 cups of water and roughly 5 cups of granulated white sugar. We will heat up that mixture in a saucepan, so I recommend a medium to large size saucepan, and then you'll need a spoon to stir it with. I have learned from past experience that a silicone or wooden spoon works best, so I would recommend one of those. The mixture that we will make will fit roughly about 2 mason jars full, so you will want to find some type of vessel that is around the same size and is heat resistant. Our rock candy is going to grow on a wooden stick, so I have a pair of chopsticks right here that I will put in my mason jar. You can use any type of stick that you have lying around at home, if it's a skewer, chopsticks, or lollipop sticks. Then we will need a few pairs of clothespins, and we will use those to hold up our sticks in our mason jar mixture. Last but not least, you will need something to flavor your rock candy with, and there are a couple of options. So first option is you can get a powdered drink mix like I have here. This is a blue fruit punch. That will turn my rock candy blue and also give it a blue fruit punch flavor. If you don't want to use powdered drink mix, you can use a extract. So I have lavender extract here. There's a bunch of different types of extracts, so you can use whatever flavor you would like. If you just use the extract, then your rock candy will turn out white. However, if you want it to be a color, you can also add in food coloring. So it's up to you in which way you want to do it, and if not, you want to add color. Alright, so the first step to making our rock candy is that you want to go ahead and sprinkle some sugar onto a plate, or I just put down aluminum foil here, and then you're going to want to take your sticks that you have and go ahead and get them wet. So I have my chopsticks here that I just ran under the faucet for a couple of seconds, and then you're just going to want to roll the sticks in the sugar to make sure that they are coated. And then once you have those coated nicely, you can go ahead and put this to the side. Our next step is that we are going to boil our 2 cups of water. So if you want to go ahead and turn on your stove and pour in your 2 cups of water. Then we just wait for it to boil. Once it's boiled, we will start adding in our sugar 1 cup at a time until we get to our full 5 cups. So now that our water has boiled, what we are going to do is add in 1 cup of sugar. So you want to add in that entire cup and stir until that sugar is dissolved. Once that is dissolved, you will want to go ahead and add in another cup, and you will want to repeat this process up until you have reached your total of 5 cups of sugar in your 2 cups of water. Now that I have all of my cups of sugar dissolved in the water. I am going to bring this back to a boil, and we are going to boil it for 20 minutes or until the sugar mixture becomes clear. So whichever one comes first. So I have been dissolving my sugar in my water now for about 20 minutes. And as you can see, it's still a little bit yellow, but that's okay because I can definitely tell that it's clear because all of the sugar has been fully dissolved in the water. So now that I have finished dissolving the sugar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to now let this sit for an additional 20 minutes to cool off a little bit. Now, as I said before, this recipe fills up about 2 mason jars full. So if you want both mason jars to be the same flavor and color, you can go ahead and add in your powdered drink mix or extract and or food coloring at this point. However, if you want to do 2 separate flavors / colors, you can wait to add those until we pour this mixture into our mason jars. So as you can see here, I let my mixture cool and then I poured them into 2 mason jars. Just be careful because even after it's cooled and it goes in the mason jars, it's still going to be very hot to the touch. So I've decided to do 2 different flavors for each of my mason jars. So for the first one, I am going to do my lavender extract, and I don't have any food coloring, so I'm just going to leave it white. But I'm just going to go ahead and pour in 1 teaspoon of my lavender extract. And then I am just going to stir that up with a knife or a spoon, whatever you can fit in your jar. And then for my other mason jar, I'm going to go ahead and put in my blue fruit punch powder, so that way my rock candy will be blue and will taste like fruit punch. So you just do the same thing, pour the powder in, mix it up until it dissolves. Now for our last step, we are going to go ahead and add in our sticks to each of our mason jars. So for this step, you want to be sure that your stick doesn't touch the sides or the bottoms, because as the crystals grow, they're going to grow from all sides, and you want to make sure that it doesn't stick to your container. So you just take one of your sticks that have the sugar on them and you place it in the mason jar about so far down. And then this is where your clothespins are gonna come in, and you're going to clip one on each side of your stick to help balance it in the mason jar. So as you can see here, it's not all the way at the bottom and it's close to a side, but it's not touching, which is exactly what we want. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the blue one as well. So as you can see now, we have both sticks in our sugar mixture, and all of the stick that is submerged in our mixture is where the rock candy is going to grow. So now that everything is all set, what you're going to do is you are going to leave them in a dark, cool place for about 5 to 10 days. The longer you leave it, the more crystals you'll have, so I highly recommend leaving it for 10 days or even more. So we will come back to check on them soon. Alright, so it has been 5 days since I poured my rock candy, and so as you can see now, they have crystallized, and I am going to show you guys how to take the rock candy out of the jar. As you can see with the blue one, it is kind of cloudy, so I cannot fully see how well the rock candy has formed, so I'm going to give this one the full 10 days before I take it out. However, my white one, I can see here that the crystals have been growing nicely on my stick, and so I think that it'll be okay to take it out. So let's get started. So to give you guys a closer look at the jar, you can see that it's mostly all crystallized and it's ready to be broken. So at the top, the entire top of this will be crystallized. I accidentally banged this on the table too hard, so as you can see, I've kind of already broken off the top layer. And the good news is it's really easy to break off. So again, in a normal scenario, this would all be crystallized. You would just take a knife or a fork of some sort and just kind of like tap on the top until you get a good opening there. And then once you have an opening, you just take your stick out of your sugar mixture, and there you have it, your very own rock candy. So after you take your rock candy out of your sugar mixture, you can just leave it on a plate or a bowl to dry for a few days, and then it'll be good enough to eat. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you would like to see any more of our programming videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.